what's up everyone? Welcome back to my channel. It's been a while. I was on vacation and finally just got back a couple of days ago. And recently I discovered that they made an emulator for the Access Virus B. So for those that don't know, the Access Virus B, this is what the synth you're looking at right now. This synth was used a lot in drum and bass, especially in the late 90s and into the early 2000s. I believe Ed Russian Optical used this synth. Don't quote me on it, but I'm adamant that tons of drum and bass producers use this synth. A lot of the craziest bass lines were created with the Access Virus B. It can make some pretty sick re-sounds. I've done some crazy bass sounds that I didn't think was even possible of the Virus B. So this synth is legendary. I own the hardware version of this. I've had it for over 20 years. However, mine is broken. I've been meaning to get it fixed. But basically, there's a bunch of computer nerds or designers who emulated the DSP, the digital signal processor of the Virus B, which is based on a Motorola DSP. So apparently a lot of synths back in the day were using the exact same chip, the exact same DSP. So a bunch of these guys got together, decided to recreate this DSP by digitally coding it. So there is now online, it's available for free. And I'll leave a link down below. I don't have the links right now because I really just wanted to just get right into the stream. But essentially, you download this DSP engine and then you install the ROM for Virus B and you have access to this entire synth, which is pretty rad. So I guess the first thing is, let me just show you what you end up with, and then I'll show you how you would install it. So flipping over to Ableton. So here is the Virus B emulator version, and this is just a quick sound I made earlier, but we can go through the different sounds on it. Let me just go through the patch library. There's a couple of banks here, so I think, yeah, here we go. So all these sounds were in the banks of the Virus B, right? And they did a good job recreating the engine because for the most part, it sounds quite similar. The Access Virus B was known for its warm bass sounds, although it was a virtual analog synth, meaning it wasn't technically an analog synth. It simulated an analog synth with coding, with digital signals. I wish I still had my, I'm sure I can extract it from my Virus one day, but I have tons of sick presets on my Virus B. If I can fix my Virus B, I'll extract it one day and we'll do a stream, and I'll even give you guys the download of all of my presets. I had some sick Virus presets. That's a fat lead. Today's video is sponsored by Skillshare. If you're a beginner and you want to learn the basics of Ableton and music production, then I invite you to check out my Ableton Essential Exercises on Skillshare. I have a number of classes to help you on your journey, including drum programming, writing melodies, bass lines, chopping up breaks, and I even have a Basics of Serum class. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of classes to help you further your passion and interest and expand on your creativity. From learning graphic design, video editing, and even social media marketing, all essential skills for an independent musician today. It's a great place to start if you're learning and starting on your journey. If you want to get deep into sound design, one class I highly recommend you to check out is Mastering Sound Design by Jason Allen, who's a PhD and also certified Ableton instructor. In his class, there's 105 lessons and 7 hours of content, starting from the basics of sound design and getting into more advanced topics. So if creating your own bass lines and soundscapes is up your alley, then I highly recommend you to check out his class so you can learn the basics and advanced topics of sound design. The benefit of Skillshare is that there are no ads, and the first 1,000 people that use my link down in the description will receive 1 month free trial of their premium membership. So check it out, and I'll see you at my class on Skillshare. Yeah, so that's just a quick sample of one of the banks in the Virus B. So it is a bit tricky to install this. So I'll just show you real quickly how you access it. So there is a site. The site is dsp56300.wordpress.com. Again, I'll leave the link down below later, but basically if you search dsp56300 emulation, you'll be able to find it. And this is the site from the coder, so they have all the information about how to use this thing. So if you scroll down, you can see this is what it looks like by default, right? And if you can scroll further down, you'll see here's the video, and then you can grab a copy from my downloads page. If you click over here, scroll down, you'll see there's different versions, whether if you're Mac, Windows, or even Linux. I'm on Windows, so I downloaded the VST3 version. If you're on Mac, then you want to grab the relevant version for you. What you do is download that, right? And then when you extract it, you'll get a file, and you have to, if you're using the VST3 file, which I recommend, then you have to extract it into your VST3 folder. So if you can see here, I'm in my VST3 folder. It's under Program Files / Common Files / VST3. What I've done was I created a folder called Virus B here. If I go into this folder, Virus B, you'll find that here it is, this dsp56300mu.vst3. That's the file you'll find when you download this file here, and that's the main VST. That's the engine, right? Now, when you install that, you'll just get the basic engine. You won't get the virus sounds. What you then need to do is also copy this bin file, the access virus B bin file. This is the ROM file of the virus. Basically, it's the memory, it's the brain, the memory or all the information from the virus B synth. And you put it right in here. Now, for copyright and legal reasons, I shouldn't tell you exactly where to find the bin file for the Access Virus B, but all I can say it's very easy. All you need to do is Google the Access Virus B ROM, and you'll find links for it. Download the file, and then just put it in the exact same folder as the VST3 file. And then when you load up this here, it should just load up automatically as the Virus B. Hopefully it does. Because I did this a while ago, and I'm afraid if I uninstall it right now, it might not work. So I kind of want to avoid that right now, but hopefully that works. I see here on the bottom here, ROM loaded. I guess what you can do here, you see at the bottom here, it says ROM loaded. I wonder if I can make this closer for you guys. On the bottom here, you see ROM loaded. If you click on here, can see that there's an actual drop down. I believe you'll have to just select. If you had multiple ones, I guess you can change them, right? Yeah, I did try to recreate the alien girl synth with this. We'll talk about that shortly. Okay, great. So it worked just as expected. Thanks, Matthew. Great, good to know. So all you have to do is just copy the ROM file into the plugin folder, and it has it loaded up automatically. So you should only put one ROM to the ROM folder. So just thanks, THRL. So heads up to everyone, only put one ROM file to the folder. Otherwise, I guess it gets confused. So we'll just go quickly through how we can use this synth if you're new to the Virus. Again, you can go through the patch library if you want to go through the different banks. Click here. There's like 8 banks, right? You can choose the bank, and then on the right here are the presets. Now, I just want to create a sound from scratch, right? So let me just find a fully initialized preset. I don't remember how you do that. May just have to mess with it as is, like this. Yeah, that's fine. I'll just mess with it as is, like this. Yeah, so there are 3 oscillators with the Virus B. The third one is supposed to be a sub-oscillator from what I remember. I've used this like 20 years ago, so pardon me if I don't fully remember. But basically the oscillator, if you choose this drop down here, there are 60, I believe it's 64, it says 63 here, but sine is included as one. Yeah, there should be 64 or 65 wavetables here. Now, this doesn't work the same as like Serum. It's not like a morphing wavetable. It's just a static wavetable. However, when you choose one of these, we'll just choose one of these here. Right. Now, I'm just going to choose oscillator balance here. On the mixer here, I'm going to flip this all the way to oscillator 1. So I'm hearing only oscillator 1 here. And then just open up the filters. So on the right here are all the filters. So unfortunately, I can't reset the entire thing, so I can just show you everything from scratch. But that's more or less there. But basically, this knob here morphs it from your wavetable to a sawtooth to a square wave, right? So that's a full-on square wave. And there's your square. If you're using square, then you can change the pulse width. Right? This doesn't do anything if it wasn't in the square, because pulse width is meant for square. Right? And then you have the semitone, which is the key of your oscillator. Now you just want a key follow a default, so whatever key you hit is the right note. Now oscillator 2, pretty much the same thing, but there's some additional values. So on the mixer here now, I'm going to flip it all the way to oscillator 2. So look at oscillator 2, same thing. You can choose your basic wavetable here, and then morph between the 3 shapes. Semitone is the same thing. You know what that does. Now, there's a number of wave shaping options here. There's actually FM modulation. And you can use, I believe, the shape that's here. This is the shape that is modulating doing the frequency modulation under this drop down here. From what I remember, you can't actually change the frequency of the modulator. If I'm incorrect, let me know. It's a detune. envelope to FM. I believe this is doing some FM modulation with the envelope. We'll come back to FM later. This is pitch modulation using the envelope. So it's using the filter envelope to modulate oscillator 2 here. So these oscillators, or these two envelopes, or modulators follow the envelope from filter envelope over here. Yeah, you can get this for Mac. So super fun. Okay, we'll keep going through the parameters and then we'll design some sounds. I believe this is changing the phase of the oscillator. I never used this one much. And then oscillator 3, you can choose a waveform for it. So it's a sub oscillator. You can tell already there's a sub bass. Actually, I don't actually remember the Virus B having a third oscillator because I just from here the sub is actually a completely different oscillator. So this isn't the sub oscillator. This is an independent oscillator 3, which is cool. Or I think oscillator 3 was hidden in the menus of the Virus B, so this makes it more accessible. So it's cool. You have the third oscillator. Again, I've not used Virus for 20 years, so I'm reminding myself how to use this as well. But you can turn off, so there isn't an actual level for oscillator 3 here, so if you don't want it, you have to leave it off. Okay, and here is the sub oscillator. This is where you choose the shape of the sub oscillator. Now you don't hear it right now because there's a knob here for sub oscillator. Right. So there's your sub oscillator. I don't believe this noise does anything yet. This is actually for the actual noise, which is over here. Yeah, so these two knobs are independent. So this is for the actual shape of the sub, and this is for the actual noise. When you bring up the noise level here, you can change the frequency of the noise. Right. So very good to know. Let me just bring that down. I'm just gonna focus on oscillator 1 right now, so bring this dial back all the way to the left on the mixer. Bring the noise down. We'll just use the sawtooth for now. I'll turn off that sub oscillator here. So unison mode over here. This is helpful if you want to re-sounds. Now, just a quick thing, when I'm playing bass sounds, I actually want the volume to hit always at the same level. So just make sure on your velocity settings. So this vertical lane here, just make sure your amplifier is at 0. Otherwise, if it's up, then the lighter you hit the key, the quieter the bass sound. And as you hit it harder, the louder. I just want it always to be the same, so just make sure this is at 0. So detune to make it fatter. Pan spread. If you want it at the center, then bring it. So more of an old school resend if everything's dead center. And then spread for a more wide sound. Punch, I believe, adds a bit more of an attack every time you hit the note. So notice when I increase it, you get a bit of a click at the very beginning of the note. We'll just leave that for now. So we've touched on, here's the so the lane over here, we talked about oscillator 1 and 2 balance already. If you want both oscillator 1 and 2, then you want them both stacked in the middle. So if you want that like kind of modern liquid bass kind of sound with the perfect fifth, then set oscillator 2 to perfect fifth, which would be 7, or 19 would be an octave and 7 up. And then bring back oscillator 1. Actually, something's wrong here. Oh, because this isn't at 0. There we go. So semitone for oscillator 1 is 0. Oscillator 2 is 19 for that fat liquid bass sound. Otherwise, if it was in tune like this, more darker sound if you want that darker resound. But for a liquid res, make a perfect fifth on oscillator 2. I love how fat that sounds. Oh, there is a level for oscillator 3, so my apologies, I was incorrect. So over here we see oscillator 3 here. Let's bring oscillator 3 back. Maybe try one of the funkier wave tables for oscillator 3. Right. And maybe we can make oscillator 3 also perfect fifth up. We can browse through. Just tuck it for an additional layer on the sound. Of course, if you want some oomph on that bass, then we can introduce that sub level here. And I can already hear the sub pumping. You don't want to overpower it. I think around there is good, around 70. The noise kind of adds a bit of excitement if you want, but I wouldn't go too hardcore of the noise. I've never really played much with ring modulation, so I'm not the best with explaining what it does, but you can just play with it and see what it does to the sound. Big up Cartoon Michael. Glad you liked the 7 Tricks Amen video. On to the filter section. So this is the filter section. There's actually 2 filters, and they can either work, I believe, in parallel or in serial mode, depending on the section, this drop down here. So currently, it's set to serial mode. I don't remember what 4 and 6 means. But basically, let's just focus on one filter right now. We can, I guess, split the filters so they're independent, I believe. Or No, we want parallel. Yeah. And this knob, this filter balance, just like oscillator balance, you can play only filter 1 if it's all the way on the left, or you can play only filter 2, it's all the way on the right, or it can be a mix between the two. I just want to focus on one filter and go through the settings, so all the way to the left, so it's playing only filter 1, which is the knobs on the top here. To cut off, resonance, the envelope amount, so that would be the amount that the envelope down here controls. Key follow, it just the cutoff will follow the key, so the relative, the cutoff will be a little more relative the higher you play. So sometimes when you play higher up, you want that cutoff to move relatively. These are just resonance velocity buttons, sensitive to the velocity. I don't really use these ones. Basically, the envelope amount and your filter envelope down here will work in tandem, right? So if I increase the attack, so now you get that wub kind of sound. Yeah, I love the filters on this. That's sounding fat. And the more you increase the envelope amount, the higher it opens up. That sounds more like a drum and bass sound, a little more low key. Even down there. You can try the different filters. So there's a low pass, of course, high pass, a band pass, band stop. There's an analog modulated filters here too. I guess these analog ones sound slightly warmer. They're almost the same to me. Yeah, these are sounding dope. We can play with the saturation curve, I believe. Yeah, this is where it gets fun. Then you run the filters through a saturation stage, so this warms up the sound. I think something subtle, the more light ones sound good to me. And that sounds juicy AF. Oh yeah, that's great. So we don't forget, we do have two filters here. Let's bring it back to filter 2. So that would be the knobs down here, right? So we can choose the filter for a filter 2. Now this one only has 4 settings, maybe a high pass. Yeah, maybe a band pass. So bring back some of those high frequencies, right? We also have an envelope amount for the filter 2. And then you can balance the filter 1 and 2. So this is only filter 1. Maybe just a touch of filter 2. So parallel means they're running, the two filters are running independently. If you're choosing serial, then it means one filter, I believe cutoff filter 1 will run into filter 2. So if you use serial, then cutoff 1 will go into this bandpass. So if you're using serial, it makes more sense if your filter is all the way to filter 2, because that's at the filter 2 is at the end of the stage. It's filter 1 and the filter 2, right? But it's still interesting results if you mix the two. So interesting, what I can hear is the saturation stage only runs on the first filter. But I'm personally just liking the parallel filter. Okay, now in the bottom here, we already talked about this. The attack, decay, sustain, the time it takes for the filter to go back up or down. So this is unique to the Virus. Most sense, like the Serum doesn't have this, where after it sustains, it goes back up or down, right? So this is, so you can make it go back up like this, right? It's supposed to go back up. There, yeah, as you can see it went back up. There you go. Yeah, it goes back up eventually. Yeah, so if you want that, then you can, it just adds another, I guess, point to the envelope. But most of the time, I just want a regular envelope. Amplifier envelope, that's just for the volume. Usually I just leave it at leave sustain at max. And decay and attack at 0. Filter envelope does all the work. And if you want to support, remember, we have a new pack out. It's called Rough and Rugged. It's an Ableton kit to help you jumpstart your idea. It's packed with content. And even if you don't have Ableton, we have a Wave and MIDI pack. You can find it down in the links below. Also, we have more Ableton kits, sample packs, and preset packs. If you're interested, you can find them also down in the links below. All right, I think that's the basic parameters of the synth. For the most part, if anything, the ones I use the most, there's some I don't really touch, so there's certain things that I'm not the best with explaining. Oh, maybe we should talk about some. So some of these buttons don't, I believe, don't actually pertain to the velocity. Yeah, so panning, left and right, that's obvious. Believe this is just, so yeah, this you want at 0, because that's the velocity to volume. There we go, FM amount. Yeah, I don't particularly remember what this one does, because there's a FM amount here and here as well. Yeah, we'll just leave that for now. Let's go into LFO Matrix over here. So we can assign this LFO to certain parameters. Most obvious is maybe the filter cutoff. So cutoff 1. Let's make it fast. Maybe, so let's make it like 8th note. And it's a weird shape right now, maybe a sine wave. There we go. So this one, otherwise, if you turn it off, then it's using the I guess, millisecond or time mode. But if you wanted to sync the time, use this. There we go. Oh, damn, this is sounding sick. There's some old school Virus stuff right here. Oh. Big Italy crew. So this is a sine wave. Let's try sawtooth. That sounds sick. What if we do one of these triplets? Like 112 usually is really cool for drum and bass. Yeah, or 1/6. So if we're playing with the LFO, I maybe want to keep the filter envelope at maybe envelope amount at 0 for now. We can focus on the wobble. Oh yeah. There we go. So what else can we do with here? Okay, we can, this kind of warps the shape of the LFO with the symmetry knob. I like a nice round sine wave from my LFO. Okay, so these two knobs, so LFO 1 will mess or do pitch modulation to oscillator 1 on this knob, oscillator 2 pitch modulation on this knob, or you can link the two. Yeah, so you know that get that kind of laser sound. If you want to do pulse width modulation, you can use this as well, but we're not using a square wave, so it won't work. Resonance. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, this is getting into some Virus recordings territory here. LFO 2, I believe, more or less is the same thing, so we'll skip over this. LFO 3, just a fewer options, I believe. The same thing, you just assign it to whatever you want to modulate here. There's less you can modulate with LFO 3. There's a mod matrix, so if you want to like patch the pitch wheel or like LFO to more or any other controller to a different like filter or whatever, you can do it here as well. So more modulation sources, right? Effects. Start with the easy stuff first. Reverb over here on the bottom, delay and reverb on the bottom left. I believe the send amount. So now it's completely dry. So the whole time we were playing this wet. I should have turned the reverb down. But that sounds dirty, nice and dry. Yeah, that sounds great. Yeah, the reverb has always been known to be very good with the Virus beat. So if you increase the send, that's increasing the send to the delay and reverb unit. Now, if you click on this drop down here, there's a number of different options. If you just want delay, then you choose delay. And you have to increase, I believe, the amount here. Yeah, there we go. If you want delay, then use delay over here, right? There's pattern delays. These are quite nice. Yeah, I like that ping pong vibe. Or just stick with the reverb. There's different reverb ambiances here. Hull. Change the coloration of the reverb. Yeah, this is sounding sick. Okay, so let's play with the chorus. So chorus. Yeah, so if you want a really chorusy sound, you can use this. I don't really use chorus with my sounds. I guess it widens it. Analog boost is cool. So this just increases the bottom end, right? As you can see, it's called bass intensity here. It's getting a bit muddy with it too high. There's an equalizer here. We can increase the bottom end even more. Let's increase the mids. Actually, I don't hear the EQ doing anything here. I don't know if that's a bug or maybe it's just not on, but EQ isn't doing anything for me right now. Okay, phaser. The phaser's nice. If you want that. I believe there's more distortion. You can add a second layer of distortion here. We just turned off the reverb for now for a cleaner sound. So, more distortion. Yeah. Yeah, I've always found the distortion of the Access Virus to sound pretty good. Or even for back in the day, like 20, 25 years ago. What else do we have here? Envelope follower. I don't remember what this does. Yeah, I don't really mess with this. Vocoder. I believe vocoder, you gotta choose an input for it to go into. It doesn't really make sense for us because unless I can patch a mic through this. I don't know if that would actually work. Yeah. Yeah, we'll leave that for now. We want some glide, so we're now into the global section here. You want glide. So portamento is glide. So louder if you want patch volume up. And global transpose, that's helpful. Panning. You have the pitch bend mode. It can be linear or exponential. So what if I make it plus 12 and negative 12? 12 here. Yeah, that's helpful. Make it linear. For more regular sound. Multi-mode is if you want to play a patch that was layered with like multiple sounds, right? Normally I just create a sound that's singular, so it's a singular patch. I don't really mess with that. Yeah, and I think that's basically it in terms of the main parameters that I use to design sounds with the Virus. Let me just put this over a beat and see how it sounds, and then we can mess with the sounds a little more. All right, and let's see what we can do with the sound now that we've gone through all the settings, and then later on we'll try to see if we can recreate that alien girl bass sound. Maybe try 31 instead of 19. That sounded kind of sweet. That access the Virus when you tweak the resonance up and you increase, add some saturation. There's some really sweet stuff that happens. What if we turn the LFO off, back to the sound we had earlier, which was more of a whoop sound? Oh, that sounds sick. Someone said, do you guys prefer the wobble sound, or just like straight like this? Yeah, this is sounding pretty sick. Of course, now that that's a VST, you can take it further. You could probably like add some EQing on top with some additional processing. Obviously, that was done back in the day with additional rack mounts. Now that's getting too crazy with too much distortion. I'm just trying to show you that you can just take this to the next level, right? Yeah, you can make it the LFO grow if I can remember how you do that. Right now it's a question. Envelope 1, I believe. If I set envelope filter envelope to LFO 1 amount, if that's even possible. LFO 1 filter gain, possibly. I don't know, this is... you could probably do that, but I think it's a bit tricky because this is dedicated. We're trying to use control the LFO amount with another envelope here, but only one we can use is for the filter envelope, but we're using that to create the web sound, so... we could maybe do it like that. LFO. Filter 1 gain. Yeah, I don't think we can do it. LFO 1 assign amount. Yeah. It kinda, but the LFO still wobbles at the beginning. Oh, there we go. Okay, we figured it out. Basically, you want filter envelope to modulate the LFO 1 assignment amount, but you don't want envelope. You want envelope amount to be at 0. So it's not, the envelope amount isn't actually, the filter envelope isn't doing anything to the filter, but it's just being used to modulate the LFO 1 amount. There we go. You guys pushed me to the limit. Yeah, okay, so cool sound, cool sound. The last thing I want to do before I go is let's see if we can recreate the alien girl bass sound. Now, earlier I said there are shortcomings to this emulator. It is close, but I don't think it's 100% exact, meaning I tried to recreate the alien girl sound, but I couldn't really get there. Maybe I didn't get the settings right, so we'll do it together again and see if we can get it right. So actually, if there's a website where they show you the settings for Alien Girl. It's on gearspace.com here. Someone saved, it's actually from Dogs on Acid actually, but someone reposted it here. Basically, it tells you what the settings are for Alien Girl. I tried this before; it wasn't exact, but we'll try it to see if we can get it. Let's just minimize this and put it side by side, and let's see if I can get the Alien Girl bass sound. It'd be better if I put this up here. Okay, so I'll start a new patch, completely new patch, and see if we can do it. Now, I wish there was a way to initialize the preset of this. I don't think there is, unless someone knows that there's a way, but not that I know of. But we'll just play with this. So it says here are the settings for Alien Girl patch. Now here's the thing. I don't think it's a debate, I think, but I don't think the actual Alien Girl bass was made on the Virus. But someone just tried to recreate it. Now, actually, I did use these settings 20 years ago on the actual Virus B synth, and it sounded almost one-to-one like the Alien Girl bass. Now, but doing it with this emulator version, when I tried it, it wasn't exact, which is why I say that this synth has some shortcomings, because these parameters are correct, because I have tried these parameters on the hardware version of the Virus, and it did sound like Alien Girl. So either I did something wrong with the emulator, or it just doesn't sound exact. But thanks for the heads up, Mr. THRL. Here it is, initialized. Thank you so much. That helps a lot. So all you had to do is go under Bank A and choose the very last preset, I guess start or init, right? And then you'll start from scratch. Great, this is great. So oscillator 1, it says, is we put it on square, right? Pulse width is a 0. Semitones is at -12. Okay, then oscillator 2, it says, is at sine. Okay, all right, which is sine, which is over here. Oh, we just make, yeah, that is a sine. And semitone is +12. Now bring the balance back in the center. Okay, so sine, oscillator balance is -20, so that's over here, -20. Okay, -20. Oscillator phase init equals 1. Okay, oscillator phase init. Where is it? Oscillator phase. Wait, oscillator. Which one? Oscillator. Oh, this is oscillator 2. Oscillator phase init 1. Which one are we talking about here? I believe it's only this one. Phase init. Oscillator volume +12. I believe that's this one. No, that doesn't make sense. See, what's oscillator volume plus 12? Which one, which knob is that here? I guess it's this. No, that's the velocity. Yeah, we'll leave oscillator 2, oscillator balance, oscillator phase init, oscillator volume. We'll leave these three. We'll come back to these three. Sub oscillator is square. So already it's square. Amount is 32. It's hard to get it exact, but it doesn't. It's not a science. As long as it's close, I believe it should be okay. Change back oscillator 1. What do you mean? Oscillator. So oscillator. Ring modulation is at 127. Okay, LFO 1 shape equals triangle. So LFO 1 shape is triangle. Clock is quarter note. LFO 1 to oscillator 1 is +8. So this is +8. And LFO 1 to pulse width modulation is 32. Okay. Then LFO 2 is triangle. LFO 2 is triangle. Rate is 92. Triangle. Contour is +20. See, there's no contour. Maybe it means this one, symmetry. Yeah, it should be that. Rate is 92. Trig phase is 1. See, so some of these parameter names are not exactly the same. I think that's okay though. Alpha 2 to filter 1 is -44. And then alpha 2 to filter 2 is -16. Filters cutoff equals 24. Balance, filter balance is -28. Routing is serial 4. Saturation is hard mode. Envelope, amplitude envelope equals -44. Where's that amplitude envelope? Amplitude envelope equals -44. I'm not sure what this one means either. Attack is 62. Decay is 0. 48 sustain. If you guys know where some of these parameters belong, let me know. Yeah, I did it on the hardware synth, so this is Oscillator 1 set sine not to square. What do you mean? It says Oscillator 1 set it to square. Following these exact settings that were given here. Filter mode is low pass. Resonance is 44. Envelope mount is 88. And then filter 2 mode is high pass. Resonance is 36. Envelope amount is 72. Key follow is -12. No, I have it on square. The way you use this is you have the shape set to square, man. Oh, no. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have this correct. It's sine here, but when you use this, it's set to square. Key follow -12. Yeah, it'd be cool if you can. Amplitude is 36. K is 64. Sustain is 127. 20. Okay. Distortion type is medium. Like this is crazy. Okay. Distortion type, light, soft, mid. Intensity is 100. Minimal phase, minimal chorus, minimal delay. We can even just have none of those. Minimal phaser, yeah. It kinda is, sounds like it. We need to make this louder. And envelope is bottom right. Yeah, I know that, but there's a setting that says envelope. I mean envelope amount 72. Yeah, this was at 72. Envelope -44. I don't actually see a setting for an envelope -44. It sounds alright. It's closer than the time I did it offline, so maybe this time I read the settings a bit closer. But I just want it to be louder. Because something's quiet right now. Oscillator 3, oscillator level. There, that was louder. Yeah, it sounds alright. I'm sure, like, if I tweak, I'm sure I got some of these settings incorrect. If you can tweak them, maybe you guys can follow it better and get it exact. If you get it exact, let us know. Comment down below. Yeah, this is pretty sick. It's fun. I'm sure it'll sound better if you like process it, maybe add like some effects to it. Yeah, that sounds alright. It sounds kind of cool. I kind of like that more subdued with this lighter distortion. Yeah, you start playing around with it, you can find some even sicker sounds with this. I like it clean without that I find that sub oscillator makes it dirty. I guess that's what you want if you want that dirty sound. This is without ring modulation. What if we add FM? That's a bit too crazy. This is sounding disgusting. Ah, what am I doing? I have the alien girl break here. Let's see. So is that too much reverb? I'll bring it down. Yo, this is sounding sick. Gross. Yeah, I'm gonna head out soon. I just wanna play with this a little bit more. Alright guys, this was a lot of fun. This was just out of this world. So I actually didn't expect us to actually recreate the alien girl bass sound with this, but I think we're 80% close, which is not bad. A lot better than I did offline. So I'm happy with that. And hopefully you guys enjoyed figuring out how to use this Access Virus Emulator. This video will be taken down because I'm going to be re-editing it and then re-uploading it the next day. However, just stay posted for the full video. Yeah, I will put the links where you can grab the emulator. You'll have to find the ROM yourself, and hopefully you guys figure out how to install it. As you can see, it's super fun. I think it's a nice emulation. I think it sounded really good, very close to the actual hardware version of the Axis Virus B, which was used a lot in the golden age of drum and bass. A lot of crazy tracks were made with this. I used this extensively with my productions 20 years ago, and as you can see, you can make some grimy bass sounds. It has some very analog vibes to this bass, to its bass sounds, which I like. Not to mention, I would explore the synth sounds. The pads are very lush. You can make some deep liquid sounds with this as well. The ARP sounds are great. Even if you make trance or like techno, this thing is a beast. So yeah, highly recommend you guys try to synth out. It doesn't cost a cent. So, I mean, super fun. And shouts out to the guys who designed this. It's a much appreciated, and it's amazing to be able to use this synth again. Hopefully we can explore this more in a future video. Other than that, guys, thank you for dropping by. I enjoyed doing this stream with you guys. I hope you guys learned something, and yeah, until the next stream, stay creative, stay safe. I'll see you at the next video. Peace.